There is a humanitarian need here, and we need to make sure that we're treating everybody fairly.
A fleet of state vehicles being used to deter migrants from illegally crossing here into Texas. We've seen a lot of manpower to try to get control of this border and humanitarian crisis.
New images of that migrant camp under the Del Rio Bridge. A significant decrease, but the scene still heartbreaking. New numbers from the Department of Homeland Security saying since Sunday, more than 1,400 migrants have been flown back to Haiti on a dozen flights. 3,200 taken into custody but still in the U.S., preparing to be deported or placed into removal proceedings while they seek asylum. Less than 5,000 migrants, mostly Haitian, remain in this encampment, down from roughly 14,000 over the weekend.
Yes, there are fewer people here, but it is still tough to see these images. Children sleeping on cardboard, families waiting for the U.S. to tell them what's next.
The faces of those desperate for asylum in the U.S., the children seen on the shoulders of their parents as they crossed the dangerous Rio Grande. These images even have some Democrats demanding the Biden administration stop the mass deportations and get a better handle on this crisis.
All they're trying to do is escape from violence in their country. We're saying to the president and everybody else, you got to stop this madness.
In Del Rio, this so-called steel barrier in place. The governor of Texas ordering state troopers to line up vehicles on the border to deter migrants from crossing.
We're now getting a clearer picture of who will be eligible for these booster shots, older Americans and those at high risk. A CDC advisory panel will consider the next steps later today, but soon after we could start to see pharmacies like this one in local cities across the country administering those boosters by the end of the week.
The FDA giving the green light for Pfizer booster shots, bringing the U.S. one step closer to authorizing a third dose for millions of Americans. The eligible group is expected to include people 65 and older, those at high risk of severe illness, healthcare workers, and other frontline employees like teachers, daycare staff, grocery workers, and people in homeless shelters and prisons.
The plain truth is that there's a lot we still don't know. We do know that the vaccines are holding up well.
But it's not an official go yet. Today, a CDC advisory panel will meet for a second day to consider more specific guidance, and those third shots will likely be available by the end of the week. 2 million Americans with compromised immune systems have already received a Pfizer or Moderna booster shot with limited side effects similar to those that followed a second dose. 95% of all adverse events reported from boosters were not serious. Americans who receive the Moderna or Johnson & Johnson vaccines will have to wait at least a few more weeks before potential authorization. But many health experts argue getting people their first shots should remain the top priority. Across the country, in states with the lowest number of people vaccinated, death rates are nearly 4 times higher than in states that lead the country in vaccinations.